Hey guys, okay, I'm gonna try this again. I just recorded this once and it didn't take for some reason. All right, so this is going to be a recap on a trade I did on Thursday on BBI. See right here, BBI is the ticker. Okay, and previous day's close. This is the Thinkorswim platform. The black is live market hours. The gray is after and pre-market hours. Okay. So you can see it closed here around 181, something like that. And then if you look to the bottom, you see where I have the line, the cursor I'm marking here. If you look at the very bottom, right down at the bottom down here, you can see the timestamp. See, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So 4 o'clock in the morning, market open. It's 4 o'clock Pacific time, so 7 a.m. Eastern time. So you can see here it spiked. It went from 195 up to 245. And this spike, I'm sure, is what made it hit the scanners, right? So I found it on a scanner and take a look, and here it is. Now, you can see it continued spiking. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way, because I didn't record it the same day, so I need to use the 5-minute chart. So you can see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Okay, so it took 45 minutes to spike up like this. Now, normally, if it's going to be a spike and a drop, it's not going to take 45 minutes. It's going to take 10 minutes. And so these will be 1-minute candles. Think of them as 1-minute candles instead of 5-minute candles, right? So it's going to go pretty much straight up like this. And then if it's going to be a spike and drop, it's going to go up. And then it's going to repeat almost identically on the downside. It's going to come down at a large angle like this. Okay, and it'll come down, let's say, to start at 189. It would come down to 217, something like that, right? It would retrace right back down again. Now, this particular one, it went up and then it stayed up. So you can see the purple line's the VWAP. You can say it stayed above the VWAP right here, right? And so I don't consider this a big drop. I consider this like a consolidation. So what I see here is a bullish stock. I see something that's going to stay strong potentially for the whole morning, perhaps the whole day. This thing's going to stay bullish because of the fact that it just didn't fall back down again. So let's progress here. So imagine this was spread out quite a bit over here, let's say, right? Much longer. So, all right. So you can see here, it did stay consolidating for quite some time. Stayed in this range between, let's say, 255 and 277. Okay. Now, I kept thinking it was pretty strong, and I was going to enter around here at 265. Actually, even around here, 260, something like that. But anyhow, it was staying strong. So I finally entered right here, right there at the white circle, kind of the dashed blue line. 276 was my entry long. With 700 shares. Now 700 is bigger than I normally take, but I did 700 shares so that way I could do something I call trade safe. And what I mean by that is when it started going my direction, I started selling. I got in pre-market. I started selling pre-market. I got in with one purchase, 700 shares, and then I started selling at 50 shares a pop. So I must have sold in 10 pieces or something like that. So I started selling on the way up. Okay, so let me move a little bit here. So I've sold like 50 shares here, 50 shares there, 50 shares here, 50 shares here. I just kept selling the shares as it was going up, thinking, okay, I'm going to sell off almost the whole position kind of before the open. Or as I saw the momentum, really. I was really watching the momentum of the rise. And I saw it wasn't going up real fast. And so I said, okay, it's strong, but it's not super strong. Okay. So that's why I kept selling it. So here's our open right here. This is our open line. And you can see the black is the market hours and the gray is the pre-market. So you could see that it went up to 398 total, peak of the high of the day. And you can see my other white mark here. That's where I got out at. I was completely out right here. So by the time I hit to this candle here, which was 15 minutes into the day, I only had about 200 shares left, something like that. And I actually sold, this was my average. So this mark here, 249, 250, I think it was actually 251. But 350, sorry. 350 was my average that it came out to for my overall exit. And I know my final sale was at 381 right here. So that's where I sold my last 50 shares at, $3.81. And my average came out to 350, which is just fine with me. So this was a $512 green trade. So that's what I made on this trade. And that was 276, averaged out at 350. So in at 5:55 roughly a.m. If you look at the clock down at the bottom, 5:55, exited at 6:40. So it was about a 45-minute trade roughly, 45, 50 minutes, something like that. And $500, $512 green day. Okay, so let's keep going. We'll see where this stock went. You guys can scroll back through this, replay it, and watch it for yourself. And remember, this consolidation here, staying strong, I thought it was going to stay strong. That's why I went long instead of short. Because it didn't, like I said, if it's a spike and drop, they come up like this, and then they drop almost at the same angle back down like this. Okay? So this stayed kind of strong, so I got in right here. Rode it up to here, rode it up actually to here, 381, like I said. That's what my final sale was. And I got pretty close to the top, 381. It only went to 398. So I got within 17 cents of the very top, which is fine with me. Now it could have been a $700 trade or $750 trade, $750 trade. But I'm just fine with $512 getting out here because I think it was a safe trade because as it's going up, I'm shedding off shares. So once you do that, by the way, excuse me, once you do that, what happens is you invert your entry or your point where the green trade would turn into a red trade, right? So in other words, by the time I got to right here, this stock would have had to have dropped down to like $2.30 before, I'm not doing this off the math, I'm just doing it off the top of my head, but this stock would have had to have dropped to somewhere around $2.30 before I would have been red. You know, I would have been, it could have went from here way down to here, and I would have been green, and then at this point here, it would have been a break even, something like that. You guys can do the math on it, but I only had 200 shares left here, right? So take that into account. You can do the calculator and stuff. So that's what I call a safe trade. So now I don't have, in reality, I don't have, from 350 down to 270. I have from 350 down to like 240 before it's a break-even trade. Right? You see how that works? So pretty safe margin. It makes you feel really good when you've got a trade where you've taken a bunch off the table already and you're just letting the little piece of the end continue. So it could have, like I said, it could have been a bitter trade. I could have closed it out somewhere around 390, something like that, because you could see it hit 390 for about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, for about half an hour. It was at the 390 level. So could have taken it there. But anyways, I'm glad I stopped out where I did. Real glad about it. Real happy about the trade. So let me keep going throughout the day. Show you guys this. So start just big consolidation period here throughout the day from, what are we looking at? 8:05 to 11. And then it dropped at 11:15. That's Pacific time, by the way. These are Pacific times. Remember that. 11:15, it dropped. And then right here at 12:20. So that would be 3:20. It dropped back to my entry point. So, and then close the day over here at 3:06. So there you go. There's my trade recap on BBI. See here, BBI. And this is Caveman signing out. I hope you guys like this recap, and I hope you guys can make some money with this info. All right. Oh, and if you like the video, you like the channel, go down below, hit the thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button, and we'd appreciate that. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.